Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Sripad Gurudev Sripad Jai Guru Maharaj Srila Sripad Jai Jagat Guru Prabhupada Jai Sri Gaurnitai Jai Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagwan Jai Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Jai 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 Sri Sri Radha Madhav Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Yam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 3, Text number 35. Srikant Prabhuji, can you please confirm if my voice is all right?
Dhanat Guru Maharaj, clear ga vastund Guru Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. So, यहाँ पे there is no sloka. Yadi dasyasi abhimatan varan me varadottama bhutebhyas tvad visrishtebhyo mrityurma bhun mama prabhu. Translation. My Lord, O best of the giver of benediction, if you will kindly grant me the benediction I desire, please let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. Please repeat, O my Lord, O best of the giver of benediction, if you will kindly grant me the benediction I desire, please let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. After being created from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Lord Brahma, the original created living universe, created many other different types of living entities to reside in the universe. Therefore, from the beginning of creation, the living entities were born of pure living entity. Ultimately, Krishna is the supreme living being, the father of all others. Aham Biya Prapita is the seed living father of all living entities. Thus far, Hiranyakashipu has adored Lord Brahma as a supreme personality of Godhead and has expected to become immortal by the benediction of Lord Brahma. Now, however, having come to understand even Lord Brahma is not immortal, because at the end of the millennium, Lord Brahma will also die. Hiranyakashipu is very carefully asking him for benedictions that will be almost as good as immortality. His first proposal is that he not be killed by any of different forms of living entities created by Lord Brahma in this world. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashlakaya Chakshurunmilitmena Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha. Translation again, O my Lord, O best of the givers of benediction, if you kindly grant me the benediction I desire, please let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. So Hiranyakashipu is almost successful in because that it is not an ordinary feat of austerity. And so he's almost with the mission of being immortal, being invincible. Hare Krishna. So what I was saying was that he was almost successful in his mission of becoming immortal. The first step is pleasing Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma appeared to him. So that itself was a great achievement. But having achieved Lord Brahma, his heart did not change. In the case of Dhruva Maharaj, we see Dhruva Maharaj has gone to forest to meditate, to ask for benediction. That is a great kingdom, greater kingdom than his father. But after seeing Lord Vishnu, Dhruva Maharaj completely changed. He completely changed, and his heart is purified. And he saw, in comparison to Lord Vishnu, this kingdom is nothing, such a precious jewel, Lord Vishnu. Yeah, sometimes also we go for market to buy something, but when we go there, we find something better than what we wanted to buy, so we get that instead of that. Or you are sat for prasadam and you are thinking you'll take nice rice, chapati and dal, and then there is nice paneer sabji. So therefore, you shift your focus from dal to paneer sabji or something like that. Means that you can see and taste and feel that that is definitely worth than the other, or is better. The prasadam, everything is absolute, but still there is variegatedness. Achintya Beda Beda. So, Dhruva Maharaj, but after seeing Lord Vishnu, his material desire is completely purified because he found something much, much better, much, much more worth. It cannot be even compared with what he came for asking. He said, I am not interested in it. He's like, what I came for is a piece of glasses. But here in this case of Hiranyakashipu, after seeing Lord Brahma, his heart is not changed. He's still wanting the same thing which he came for. So this is an important difference between worshipping Lord Vishnu and worshipping any other worshipable personalities. At the most, we can satisfy the desire that we wanted, which is mostly material, and that remains the same. It doesn't change. So a clear difference we see here, that Hiranyakashipu's heart did not change, and he went on asking the same thing which he came for. And in the beginning, he was thinking that Brahma is the supreme person, but after understanding that he himself was, is not immortal, Lord Brahma is not immortal, so he's is bargaining something. So this is what happens. First of all, we can't get what we want from others, what we want. Then what remains is a compromise. So, but with Lord Krishna, there is never a compromise. Like Hanumanji got a boon that he will be Chiranjeevi until the dissolution. So nobody can touch him. Whatever it will be. So, with Lord Krishna, there is no compromise. There is nothing that Lord Krishna cannot grant. But if something is not proper, even before asking, one becomes purified. Because the Lord Krishna is so far super excellent than anything else. Is absolute. So therefore, Bhagavatam advises, akama sarva kama kama udirati tivrena yajetaha purana. So material desire no desires or for liberation, any kind of desire. One is recovered leadership. Personal development, Krishna. By worship Krishna, one will be completely satisfied in every respect. And also will be purified of unwanted things. So, at all times, we should worship Krishna. And also that Krishna is very particular. He wants exclusive worship. Exclusive of Krishna. Of course, everybody have but in the heart, Krishna was exclusive. So, Ananyas Chintayanto Maham. So when one's depend on God in the arrangement of the Lord. So the arrangement of the Lord is the spiritual master of the Vaishnavas. So Vaishnavas and Krishna, they are the same. So one is exclusively dedicated to the service of Krishna. Upasate, paryapasate. So then Krishna takes full charge. So at that Krishna becomes fully obliged to take care of full care. Therefore, we should fully depend on Krishna, depending on anyone or anything, or being obligated. One has for Krishna. Then
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
has
Dalal
no
Guru
obligation
Maharaj.
for that person.
Hare
What
Krishna.
happened?
కొంచెం రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది
Hearing
గురుమారా సౌండ్.
properly?
కొంచెం రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది, వాయిస్ క్లియర్ లేదు. ఇప్పుడే స్టార్ట్.
నెట్వర్క్ బాగాలేదు. సో ఎవరన్నా ఆఫ్ చేసుకోండి. మీరు ఆఫ్ చేయండి. మీరు ఇంకెవరన్నా ఉన్నారా? ఇంకెవరు? Yeah, so Krishna, so we have to come to Krishna says that my devotee does not know anyone but me. I also do not know anyone or anything other than my devotee. So this is the what you say, the highest Krishna consciousness, that one doesn't know anything other than Krishna. And at that point, Krishna also says, I don't know anyone other than this person. So that is a wonderful devotional service. So at that time, Krishna takes full charge. Otherwise, sometimes we are praying, something is coming and something is not coming, because we are not fully dedicated to Krishna. We have so many other dependencies, other expectations, other guarantees, securities. So fully dependent on Krishna. So yesterday we are hearing from one devotee from Odisha who joined Guru Maharaj, and he gave everything. He handed over all the properties, whatever bank balance he has, everything, and then surrendered to Guru Maharaj. So these are very, when Guru Maharaj sees such kind of things, so it is very inspiring to bless and allow one to enter into the one's inner circle of spiritual master and Krishna. So Hiranyakashipu, so here he came to understand that as Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport, that Lord Brahma is not going to be mortal himself, so he don't have the capacity. So he is asking in a different way thinking himself to be very intelligent and asking for benediction, that we will see in coming slokas also, that he would not be killed by anybody who is not created by him. So number one, there are many points here. Number one is that Lord Brahma is created by Lord Vishnu. And Hiranyakashipu is praying to Lord Brahma for benediction to kill Vishnu. So this is very, very foolish, right? If you want to, material calculations, if you want to defeat somebody, you would go to somebody who is more powerful. But he's going to Lord Brahma, right, to ask benediction to become mortal, to kill Vishnu. So that is called Maya Pahruta Gnana. So this Maya of wanting to defeat Krishna, defeat Vishnu, or defeat Vaishnavas, this is a big Maya. Very, very big Maya. And those who are atheistic, this Maya is also there in both ways. One is in the form of defeating Vishnu, and another is they are fully atheistic and thinking that to satisfy the senses is the goal of this life and nothing more. So therefore their intelligence is taken away. So therefore here Hiranyakashipu's intelligence also is stolen by illusion. First of all, he is thinking to kill Vishnu, then he is approaching Lord Brahma to kill Vishnu, to become immortal. So this is very not very intelligent. And then he is asking the benediction that he will not be killed by those who are not created by Lord Brahma. And here Lord Vishnu is not created by Brahma. So he's still not, his eyes not being open. So this is called lalchi. The lalchi, to become on the top, it doesn't die. Right? Even when things are getting clear, the desire to be the supreme at the top, it doesn't die. The lalchi, it remains, and that lalchi, it steals our intelligence. All the hints that we are getting for something higher, something better, something what is to be done, what is divine. Here Lord Brahma has already given hint that I am not supreme. Or he's going to speak. I have gone through the whole chapter now. But he is not able to catch. He is able to catch that there is somebody above Brahma, and that is none other than Vishnu. And I am asking boon to defeat Vishnu himself. He is actually giving the power to Lord Brahma. So, lalchi of controller of everything, I have to be the top controller. It is very, this lalchi is very difficult to control. Paschana Pashati. Reality they okay, Hare Krishna, thank you. Got disconnected. content. Sorry for the disconnection because there is no power, there is a lot of problem for the network. So, to become controller, to become attraction, to become the top of Vaishnavas. This lalachi is very, very so means knowingly we drink poison. Knowingly we misfortune to ourselves. Here we see though one sees, though one, but still one cannot control himself. So those who are really interested, yes, those who are really interested, those are true Krishna, consciously restrain from this impetus to become the control, become the center. Because the situation like Hiranyakashipu, who in fact hints, hearing from Brahma,
Hare
that he is not the
Krishna,
supreme,
Maharaj.
but still
Maharaj, your voice is breaking a lot. Is it possible to change?
one way is that if we don't carefully control our impetus to be on the top, our impetus to be center of attraction, our situation will be like Hiranyakashipu, who in spite of having hints from Brahma that he is not the supreme, he would have inquired who is the supreme. But his dream of becoming the supreme on the top of the universe, so this actually kills one intelligence. So it deludes us. So one will put oneself against Vishnu and Vaishnavas, and that is the end of progress of devotional service. So if one is truly interested to make progress, to obtain the lotus feet of Krishna, so we must free ourselves very consciously, because this is sadhana. Devotional service sadhana means we have to अपने आप को संभालना है. Nobody can, if we cannot control ourselves, very difficult for others if we don't make endeavor. So even in spite of hearing, in spite of seeing, pashyan api na pashyati, we hear but don't hear. So that is the kind of lalachi of becoming supreme. So we got so much good fortune of taking shelter of having come into this moment. We should fully utilize, and in this life itself we should go back to Krishna. So he is asking to have a benediction to be not killed by anyone who is created by Lord Brahma. So Lord Vishnu is not created by Lord Brahma. So therefore his benediction doesn't cover Lord Vishnu, but he is foolish to not recognize. And also not very intelligent or not very has sufficient discrimination to ask for, to inquire for who is that person, and if that is Vishnu, who is the supreme, then he could hardly do anything, and there is a possibility of change of heart. So Vishnu or somebody who is blessed by Vishnu. So both are invincible. So he should have not asked for such benediction. Rather, he could have asked something better. But still, maybe he is thinking, okay, if not Vishnu, at least I can lord over the demigods who are created by Brahma. So, so this Lalchi has, Lord Brahma is a pure devotee, he would have got the best knowledge, best this bhakti. But he asked for something very, very mundane of being immortal, which is Akasya Pushpa, phantasmagoria of not being killed. Especially if one goes after Vaishnavas and devotees, which Hiranyakashipu will do after getting these benedictions. There is no chance of surviving. It's only a matter of time. So, so one should try to control this desire what Hiranyakashipu is having, similar desires to be the supreme in whatever circles or whatever scope we have, and try to meditate what exactly my master wants from me. So in that way it will be beneficial. And we see that Lord Brahma doesn't create Lord Vishnu, and in the form of Varaha, and Varaha form appears. Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahma. Is it right? If I remember correct. And Brahma is surprised. What is this form coming out of my nostril? So, Lord is Brahma being creator of all living beings. Krishna also coming through Brahma, but Brahma has no idea that Lord is coming out of his nostril. So, in this way, Lord Brahma is creator of living beings, but not Lord Vishnu. So even when Lord Vishnu is born to his devotees, so he is completely independent of Lord Brahma, or the biology that Lord Brahma manipulates. Krishna appears in his original form and enters into the heart of Nanda Maharaj, and enters into the heart of from there to Mother Yashoda, and then enters into womb. So Lord Krishna is completely transcendental. He doesn't need to take shelter of the creation of Lord Brahma to appear here. So Krishna is completely transcendental, and Lord Brahma also has no idea. So Hiranyakashipu, in eagerness to be supreme, so he's trying to get whatever is possible, but he's forgetting, he's not able to grasp about the Lord Vishnu, that is completely transcendental, is not under the purview. Whatever condition he's going to ask, Vishnu can satisfy all those conditions and still can kill Hiranyakashipu if he goes after the devotees, and especially is going after the most dear devotee of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj. So you have to be very careful with the devotees, especially those who are very dear to Krishna and very dear to Sri Guru. So otherwise we will be in a great, our devotional progress will be in a great difficulties. And for that matter, not with any Vaishnava, any devotee. Give the way. So that is a lesson for us. from today's sloka. Thank you very much for all your attendance. If any questions are there, kindly come forward.
Thank you, Maharajji. So if there is any question from the audience, please raise your hand. By the time, I will also like to pose my question. Hare Krishna, Maharajji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yesterday, one of my friends asked that the devotee surrenders to Krishna, thinking that Krishna will protect him.
Mm.
However, there are incidents, for example, in the recent incidents in Bangladesh or anywhere, we see that devotees also, they are on the receiving end of the mad fury or any other deceit. So, and so how do we understand? And he says, and it's natural that what special is there? What special attention of Krishna is there, which kind of will inspire us to subscribe to bhakti, because it doesn't seem to be there. And so how do we address this question? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Nice question. So surrender means one is not even concerned if Krishna protects or not also. And Krishna actually is protecting also. We are unable to see. If there is a little difficulty, you are thinking that Krishna is not protecting. For example, somebody is going to, somebody has thrown something. Then Krishna has made something in such a way that doesn't hit you. And this one astra was sent to Arjuna. Krishna just made the chariot little bit sink in the ground. So it hit Arjuna's the crown. So Krishna is not protecting. Where all this happened? So things happen here in this material world because it is not just the devotees, it is combination of devotees and non-devotees. So therefore, everybody has independence.
Actually, we are losing your holiness voice.
Lost in between. Krishna is not protecting. Krishna is protecting. And because we only see what is happening, we even don't be in this world. Please come here, Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. So, but in spite of something is happening, Krishna will definitely protect. Protected him. Because our protection means only saving the and because they are dedicated like ours, their pain won't be like ours, and their destiny won't be like ours.
Hare Krishna. Seems there is a network call there. It seems there is a network problem. Maharaji can't be seen here. Please stay there for some time. I guess Maharaji will be back. Meanwhile, can I request the Maharaji, maybe Prambar Maharaji or Govind Maharaji, to shed some light on the question of mine?
Where is Prambar Maharaj?
Hare Krishna. Is it His Holiness Govind Maharaji?
Yes.
Yes, Maharaji.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. His Holiness is audible.
Maharaj is not back yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I think he's back.
He's back. Maharaji is back. He's trying to connect to the audio. I don't know whose voice is this. Maharaji, is it Your Holiness voice? Govind Maharaji?
Yeah.
Or Vishpati Maharaji's voice? Because even Your Holiness voice is also breaking a lot. Am I the only one facing this disturbance, or others are also facing this this breaking?
No, Prabhuji, we are all facing. Today, I
Uh-huh.
think there is a network issue everywhere. It's not only in that place. Everywhere there is a network issue today. This is what my observation.
How about my voice?
Yeah,
Is it?
your voice is clear.
Let me.
Everywhere means everywhere in India?
Yeah. I checked up in 2-3 places. Good question.
Okay. is to fulfill so
Sorry to say,
something
Maharaj,
happened.
we are not able to.
Somebody got new.
Yeah, some huge disturbances there.
But you are audible very clearly.
Okay, the converse is not true. Maharaj is not audible. So, and I think Maharaji has dropped again. Anyways, it will be a good idea if Your Holiness Govind Maharaji continue speaking now. So.
Well, the question is definitely very apparent. Very real, but so many factors involved and many things happening, and apparently it appears that oh Krishna, how can he not protect his devotees and his mission and his buildings and everything? We have to take lessons from Mahabharata, the total perspective. Krishna did not protect Abhimanyu, correct? One may ask. He's the only child of his dear sister. And so basically the message is very clear that as we discussed that we are not this body, So when we become conscious of our eternal rupa, our eternal as an eternal associate, so that begins in the consciousness. That's why we say Krishna consciousness. We become conscious of Krishna, but who is we? Are we this body? Or we are allowed to become conscious of our eternal body, eternal rupa, in relation to Krishna. And that's why what manifests in this world, in this body or in this structure, in this everything has to live. So because of our material conditioning, we end up only using asking such questions. That say what happened? He's a devotee, but is our this material body is this a devotee? It is covered. It is a facility made possible so that we aspire to attain our eternal rupa, which is conducive to our eternal swarupa, Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. This Panchabhautik Sharir, this perishable, decaying, and it has unlimited problems. So when we say Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das, that is the eternal nature of the person. So when we say soul means the person, ultimately. So soul, which person we are talking about? Which person? Soul is the eternal servant of Krishna in his eternal rupa, is an associate of Krishna. So ultimately, if a person has attained that consciousness to become situated or to be contemplative about his eternal rupa in one of the bhavas, as a dasya, as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, or a palak, or as a beloved, either as one may aspire to be Krishna's wife or Krishna's gopi, or ultimately the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. So this contemplation is very, very essential. And so when Krishna destroys like a replica, or when the show is there, something, So this in material world, all these manifestations, they are wonderful shows, but shows are going to be over. Here the buildings, and they are not Chintamani per se. So the buildings and situations, bodies, they live. So it only teaches for the devotees and sadhakas lesson. Yes, however, progress or achievement and attainment of buildings and houses and beautiful bodies and beautiful dress we have acquired, we use in Krishna service, but we cannot afford to become so attached to any of them. We have to just let go and pass on. And it reminds, just as if one reads that purport of Ayur Harati Vai Punsam Udyan Astancha Yannasav Tashyate Yat Chano Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. That shloka is somewhere in I think second canto and second chapter or third chapter, one of them. And towards the end, Prabhupada writes the purport for an awakened soul or for a Krishna conscious person, even disease to his body or the old age to his body becomes the impetus that he is moving towards the finishing line to meet Krishna. So these situations, depending on the conditioning of the living entity, he knows that he cannot identify with anything which is made of this world, of the Panchatattvas and things, and he can totally become very focused to expedite his destination, to expedite reaching his destination, which is the supreme abode, eternal, which is not subject to all these calamities, and also attain the eternal form, which is not subject to hurt or disease or old age and death like this. I think that purport to Ayur Harati Vai Punsam, it will shed tremendous light. Where Srila Prabhupada says even old age and disease, they become the impetus for an awakened soul. That yes, he's definitely progressing towards his aspired destination. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. So anyone has got any question? His Holiness Prashpati Maharaj is not here, but definitely His Holiness Govind Maharaj can address. We request Maharaj to address. Actually, we devotees who have been practicing devotion for many years, we understand whatever Maharaji just told. But for a commoner, commoner means when we tell a commoner that Krishna will protect, so he may take it all these things with a pinch of salt. So in that case, what should be our convincing or preaching attitude or reasoning?
Yes, very, very good question. This is a deeper question than the first question. And the reality is that everybody has to progress, So even when we explain to some extent, different people will appreciate at different level. That cannot be. That cannot be disputed. Ultimately, one goes, we have to take reference from Mahabharata. We are amazed, so many episodes, and they are unexplainable. So ultimately, any person who has a little interest or joy in Krishna consciousness, and one thing, destiny and destination, they are what is the word in English? They are exclusive of each other. Our destiny has nothing to do with our destination.
So
and our destination has nothing to do with our destiny, because ultimately it is in the consciousness how much what level of appraisal we have for Krishna consciousness?
Mutual exclusion.
Mutually
However,
exclusive. Thank you. Yeah. If one contemplates about this, because no matter how good a destiny of somebody present, it does not guarantee that we will attain the one will attain the perfection of human potential. One has to endeavor, and even however horrible destiny somebody might have, but with satsang, with sadhu sang, he can transcend his external situations. And that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It's an equal opportunity for everybody. One cannot say that, oh, the king's son or the billionaire's son or Birla's son or the Bill Gates' son or somebody prominent person's son, he is favored especially. If he does not use that favor to work up to full-fledged Krishna consciousness, how can we say that he has made the difference? Although somebody may appear to be better off, but that doesn't guarantee that he has become better or he has merit. So ultimately, it's an equal opportunity, and every sadhaka must consider that he is on the way to become a gold medalist. And they're unlimited. There is no dearth of, because in the material world, there is only one gold medalist and others have to remain satisfied with the consolation, second place, third place. But on this path, everybody is, the gold medal is waiting for all of us. So we need not be envious, or we need not be go ahead or outsmart somebody, or we feel inspired by those who are ahead of us. And we become the inspiration for those who are apparently behind us, So it's only apparent and real. The reality of Krishna consciousness is in our consciousness. Apparently, we may be up and down, accident, this building. But what state of consciousness we have developed or acquired, that's ultimately matters. Hare Krishna. That's why Krishna got the Abhimanyu. So one may doubt, oh, how can he not protect his own nephew? So the Lord has equal footing. He doesn't allow any argument for whether he's unequal. He just his message is very profound. This world is temporary, and anybody who made an appearance in this world has to have an exit. An exit could be sometimes very cruel. That's all. But death is cruel for most people anyway. Whether I'm sitting in the airplane and airplane is going to crash, but at that moment at least I have some time to think. Yes, this plane is going to crash, and I can just totally find my focus. Because most things are beyond my control, correct? So if I can appreciate that Krishna is in supreme control, so whatever is allowed to happen in this material world or anywhere, still Krishna is above it. Krishna is in full control always, always, always. Then why should I worry more than I should, So that way we can find the resolve under any circumstances. So we can simulate this could happen to my temple or my place or anything. I could be totally snatched out of everything, whatever I have, possessions, everything. So what I'm left is only my consciousness. How absolutely I have faith in Krishna. So Krishna, through these events, he tests our conviction, the nature or level of our dependence. It boils down to our consciousness, nothing else. Sorry.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज। महाराज जी चैट में माता जी ने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा है, माता जी सुचित्रा माता जी ने मुझसे कि हमें बांग्लादेश में जो हुआ उससे क्या सीख लेनी चाहिए और हमारा प्रोटेस्ट करना कितना ठीक है।
हाँ, प्रोटेस्ट तो जहाँ पर देखिए हर अलग अलग लेवल पे सब काम है, because we cannot isolate completely from this situation. We are part of the same group, so naturally our heart and our prayers, a space for those who are so much devastated and and they really means their faith is shaken, So naturally something must be done, and the local government or as an organization, whatever support and can be, we are not isolating उनको हुआ हमें क्या ऐसा नहीं, but ultimately it's the thing, most things are beyond our control. What can we do? So whatever is within the control, political control or some solution or something can be done. I think local government and organization as a whole will be doing. I think they are doing something. And this world is like this, correct? So this again establishing the fact that this world is not a very good place to aspire to be here forever, So these situations, they are just telling us, reminding us. We may be thinking, oh, I got a better situation, better off, and all these things. But these shocking things can happen anywhere. Nobody is spared, So if one thinks that I have created a safe haven in this world, this illusion should not be cultivated. So be prepared. This can happen to anyone. Things are such the cruel time and the surrounding, and everything is acting. And for devotees, it's like Krishna says, "Na kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravritte lokad samahartum ihe pravritte ritepi tvam bhavishanti sarve yeva sthita pratyanikeshu yoda." People just become instrument to fight against each other and this and that. So those who have taken shelter of Krishna, they have raised their consciousness, and they alone are given the entrance to the absolute realm. Ultimately, it's in the consciousness, for some people, this shocking and havoc things happen, and in somebody's life, it may not happen as havocing as this, but still one has to sustain one's consciousness. Hey, Krishna, this is what you want, and we don't complain, we don't doubt, we don't. Okay, Krishna, I'm all ready for you. Are we all time ready for Krishna? So this question has to be asked individually by every sadhaka. Am I unconditionally ready for Krishna? Krishna has demonstrated his power and his supremacy, and he's capable. Impossible is nothing for Krishna. And so whatever he allowed to happen, this has to be seen as his will. Srila Sripad was asked by the governor of New Delhi, where we visited him in 2005 or 6. And then when that lot of massacre and something happened, and so the governor asked Swamiji, how you explain such events in this world? And Guru Maharaj said just in 2 words, he said, Hari Ichha. Hari Ichha Balwan, Most things we cannot explain, but we have to see that in Mahabharata, we find ample examples, and we should not allow ourselves to become overwhelmed by so much concern and many things. This is reality of life. The duality takes a very ugly form, and that's why we must not attach very much, very strongly with this world, as if this is a very nice place or it's a permanent house here. many devastating. So our attachments and of different sort, when something happens to our beloved spouse or child or relative and this and that. I was visiting one person and his son-in-law at the age of 54, can you believe this? He was a cardiologist and he visited one of his clients who happens to be a dentist. So in a dentist, to cure his tooth, he overdosed anesthesia, something like that, and it made him unconscious. And by the time ambulance and everything came, it just affected his brain. And even when the heart was pumping, because can you imagine the cardiologist? And he was taken to his own hospital by the ambulance in the city. And the whole staff and everything, nothing can help him. The brain, this anesthesia, it affects, because it numbs the body, so it overdosed, it went into the brain and he passed away. Can you believe this? So how devastating for the vicinity. So when the shocking thing or some visport हमारे सामने होता है ना घर के बाहर, so we are all impacted very much immediately. But if it is in the distance, then it is impact is less. Nonetheless, these things are very real, which have been happening. And it's not that it's the new thing. Many things have happened and many things will happen. We can definitely consider, Krishna, again and again you are sending the reminder what we are up to in this world. So ultimately, only when Krishna consciousness through a pure devotee or sadhus, if one has been imbibed sufficiently, then he will find a tremendous resolve. Yes, Krishna, many things we want to hold on to in this world. But when Krishna wants to snatch out, are we prepared for it? Are we ready for it? I may have $1 million or this and that, many things, and if something is wiped out, would it cause a heart attack to me? Because I think this is mine. This is me and this is mine. So this me and mine, they will be tested. So if for sadhakas, if the sadhakas ask this question, this is a real thing. What we are up to, what level of conviction we have about the nature of this world, and how much appreciation we have developed about the eternality of the absolute reality and the eternal nature of our eternal rupa, our eternal body. So we defy, in philosophy we say we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. The spirit soul also has eternal body which is waiting for all of us if we raise our consciousness on the absolute platform. And then we can definitely, without much trouble, without much trauma or panic, transcend the attachment to this world and its world affairs, including the body.
Thank you, Maharaj. I think there are two ways to protest: either protest the normal way or protest in a positive way by making more devotees. So I think such reminders, such incidents should remind us of our commitment with full zeal, with full rigor. We should preach, and
Yes.
rather than, as Maharaji has said, rather than being overwhelmed and taking to the normal way of protesting, and sometimes with full zeal and full vigor, as Maharaji is saying, if you sacrifice a little bit.
One more perspective comes to. In Bengal, there is a saying that let me explain in Hindi. किसी को बिच्छू काट जाता है ना? If somebody is bitten by a scorpio, the poison is not so strong. He can still be rescued. But in the name of rescuing the person who is Scorpio beaten, sometimes the persons we have to deal with, a sadhu, then it could be more danger. Danger. It's like then facing the cobra. So in the same way, sometimes it is not everybody's work that we poke our nose in every affair, because ultimately our number one priority is oneself. वो कहते हैं कि जो डूब रहा है, but you cannot afford to lose your life in the name of saving someone. But there are other things within our capacity. We can, some movement is there, something is there to influence the thing. Otherwise, if the things are so horrible, like why don't we open the temple in Taliban area? So if the things are so horrible there, then it is an indication also that why to live there. So just wake it out from there. You got the point, so something which is the atmosphere is not so conducive, and people have to make a move sometimes.
Yeah, that is very right. In fact, I was also dreading for the same, something unfortunate many years back when I came to know that this movement is going in Bangladesh also. I was very apprehensive that something at any point of time might be triggered and devotees might be at the receiving end. So that's unfortunate. It hurts. But as Maharaj said, we have to be careful in what areas we should preach, and being very cautious of the surrounding and circumstances. So I am left with only 5% battery.
5%
battery of my mobile.
Okay, why did you connect it?
It seems I have developed this fear that I should not use the phone when it is being charged.
No, it's not, it is not like that. I always keep the phone charged when I'm speaking, because battery runs down. I'm not keeping too close to me, and even if it just bursts, then I'm away from it.
Okay, let me.
The thing is about the earphone. Earphone should not be used. This accident happened. The earphone should not be put when the phone is in charging. That's So you are with the earphone?
No, I have removed it and now it's charging. But,
Okay.
my voice. Anyway, so already it is time, 8:44.
Yes.
So if there are further questions, maybe we can take them tomorrow. It is beautiful Bhagavatam class, which is happening daily.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. And
Is our Maharaj back?
no, Maharaj. But I guess Nilamba Maharaj is also there. Samchandra Prabhu, you want to add something?
Oh, Prabhuji, I think time is also up, and I'm now starting my office work in the office. So I think it was a good session.
Okay.
We all got good nectar from both the Maharajas. And your question also is very practical on the problems. I think material problems, there is a spiritual solution, and for spiritual solution, one has to go through scriptures. Otherwise, to a non-spiritual person, if you try to give spiritual problem, he cannot appreciate it. So we are able to appreciate because we are reading scriptures. So we have to, the way we convey to the such people should be more practical, I think. just like the 4 seasons are having different flavors or different symptoms, similarly the 4 yugas will have different symptoms. So we have to appreciate that and pray for more mercy. But definitely Kali Yuga symptoms are manifesting, I feel. When we see all these things, activities happening around, it is is going to happen. All those things are predicted, no? So I have nothing more to add, nothing more to ask, and I'm satisfied with the what I have heard today.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much. I think now we should conclude. Is there a question by Amrita Mataji? Because she's unmuted. But I think we can. Okay, she's not. Yeah.
No, Prabhuji, it's by default it's unmuted.
Okay, then we'll conclude. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
jai. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patit Pavan Sripad Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
And His Holiness Brahspati Maharaj ki jai and His Holiness
Jai.
Bhakti Swarup Maharaj ki jai.